When a composer or a songwriter relies too heavily on a particular chord progression, it leads to their songs kind of sounding all the same. I'm sure you can think of examples of that. Or when there's not a very good understanding of harmonic relationships between keys, the same thing can happen. So in this video we're going to talk about what a regular resolution is, as well as irregular resolutions, which can help to prevent that. And so a regular resolution is the 5-to-1 relationship, the dominant to the tonic relationship. And this is the most commonly used progression in all of music. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when we hear the tonic to the subdominant, to the dominant, back to the tonic again, and that's the same progression in every song, it can get kind of repetitive and boring. So in the 1800s, composers started experimenting with resolving to harmonies other than the tonic, and we're talking specifically about the dominant 7 to the tonic. So the first thing to think about in order to do this effectively, because we can't just take the dominant 7th and pick any other chord and make it work. It's going to sound really awkward. So what we first of all we need to do is think about each note in the chord as a moving part. Think about where it's going to go to. So normally if E7 is the dominant 7, it's going to naturally resolve to the second inversion of A. Usually A major, it could be A minor too. So let's go ahead and look at some different ways to irregularly resolve E7. Let me change this real quick. The regular resolution resolves E to itself, G sharp and B to A, and D down to C sharp. Now, a common irregular resolution, before we consider that, think of the different notes of a chord as moving parts, and the different parts move as small as possible. Keep it to a minor or major second. This is in keeping with the general idea of counterpoint, contrapuntal movement. The different parts stick to steps rather than skips or leaps. And then try all positions of the chords. Don't just use the root position, even though we have it here. Try the other positions as well to see what works. In the 1800s, this became more common. We can see it a lot in Liszt's music. The submediant, in the case of the tonic being major. So in A major, the submediant would be F sharp minor. So E and G sharp resolve inward to F sharp minor, to F sharp. B and D resolve downward to A and C sharp respectively. This was a little bit more obscure. This is actually the raised, in case you can't see that, it's the raised submediant of the submediant in the case of a major tonic. So F sharp minor being the submediant of A major, and then the submediant of F sharp minor being D, and which is raised chromatically to D sharp minor. And so E and E and G sharp both are, well, E is raised to F sharp, G sharp and B resolve inward to A sharp, and D raises up to D sharp. And so this is D sharp minor. Also, the changing it enharmonically to E flat minor is also fairly common because it's essentially the same. It's just the enharmonic equivalent. So try out different options and see what works best for you.